And now, Budapest Blues. I never liked football, but I gladly accepted a trip to Budapest for an England-Hungary match. I liked Budapest very much, and Budapest wasn't far from Vienna, where I was living. The match was a waste of good time, just what I'd expected. But I joined in with the fun, and when England actually scored, I cheered with the rest. But apart from this very small, very high moment, the whole thing was boringly slow. Then after an age, the game finally finished. England had won. Now it was time to move on for what I had come for. A very long night in old Budapest. But there was one little problem. Aunty and Uncle and their Union Jack. And their Union Jack almost cost us our lives. It happened going back to the coach. Our coach was parked in the middle of a big open space, and this big open space was full of Hungarians who were hanging around and weren't very nice. And Aunty and Uncle were waving their flag, and they were with us. Aunty and Uncle, two friends of ours, they had come for the match, and why they were known as Aunty and Uncle, I never found out. And the Hungarians too were showing their feelings. They were angry and looking for trouble, and the Union Jack didn't help. Then came the loud black ugly whistling. The Hungarians wanted the flag. Grabs were made for the flag, but Uncle refused to let go. The situation was rough, but we managed to get back to the coach and were quickly on board. Then came the missiles. Bottles and cans and stones and so on, everything throwable. I felt sure the windows wouldn't survive. And the shouting and hissing were deafening and threatening. They were telling us to go home in a very bad way. It was frightening. Then things began to get worse. We felt the coach starting to rock. The crowd was doing their best to turn our coach over. Luckily, we were too heavy. Meanwhile, the jeering and shouting and the black ugly whistling continued. We were stuck fast in the middle of aggression, neither forwards nor backwards. The crowd was seeking revenge, and they were determined. Then, not a moment too soon, an army of long black leather coats came out of the dark. Then, as if following an unspoken command, the crowd started quietly dispersing. We were now free to go on our way. It was now a strong drink that was definitely needed, and the British Embassy bar was a blessing. My first Scotch was a triple, the next two as well. I met some old friends. Had they been to the match? Certainly not. And at the other end of the bar, Aunty and Uncle were being toasted as heroes, saving the flag and all that. Stupidity speaks for itself. And on the way home the next day, Aunty and Uncle took their seats at the back of the coach, and there was the Union Jack, flying full mast across the back window, the victorious English on their way home. The Union Jack, a very bold statement, 1-0 from a penalty shot, and a flag that hadn't been captured. And I had a touch of the Budapest Blues. Too much fun, too many whiskies, a night that had turned into morning, and a match I will never forget. A very close call. Budapest, a long time ago.